Their problem is that they benefit from so much of this stuff. Look, I mean, USAID, of course, has become a poster child for this, but Elon Musk mentioned the other day that there are thousands of NGOs, supposedly nonprofits, that are feeding at the federal trough. And what happens to the money that a lot of those NGOs get? Not all, but a great many. It goes right into the pockets of Democrat politicians and activist groups and so forth. So we've had this tremendous churn of taxpayer money going into the federal government, going into NGOs, and then going back to the Democratic Party. And so, of course, they're horrified to see that spigot may be turned off. And it may be turned off. I mean, that's the reality. That's what Elon Musk is trying to do. And God bless him. Honestly, the beating this guy has taken in financially and in the press and everything else, it is appalling. Joe, the first 5 months of the year, the federal deficit was $1.1 trillion, up $300 billion from the year before. It isn't getting better. Something has to be done.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. And then they always accuse Trump of cutting Medicaid, cutting Social Security. They're making things up at this point, correct?
They are. It's so offensive. I mean, the Medicaid thing, Hakeem Jeffries basically is all over the news media saying, Republicans and DOJ are going to cut your Medicaid benefits. The reality is that there's $50 billion a year in Medicaid going to the wrong people, what they call improper payments. Are they going to go after that $50 billion? Yes, and everybody should applaud that because it means more money for the deserving people who need Medicaid. Medicare, same thing, $51 billion a year in improper payments. I mean, it's pretty staggering that anyone would not want to get at that. But, Joe, last year, Biden's government, the Government Accountability Office, the GAO, came out and said there's between 300 and 500, $500 billion in government waste and fraud every year in the federal government. And they said, the GAO